Hi, everyone, and welcome to Deadline Dilemmas. Game week 6. Praz and I are both on a wild card. It's a hectic one. Praz, how are you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. There has been no more need for deadline dilemmas than deadline dilemmas leading up to a wild card. So, as usual, we'll talk about our dilemmas. Hopefully, they align with your dilemmas, and hopefully, we can make it more complicated than what you came in before the video.
We're meant to be making it simpler, but you're right. The more we dig deeper, the more it's true. More options, more things come into our, more ideas, I should say. I'll tell you what,
Exactly.
though, Praz, I honestly need this because as we're going to get stuck in a minute, there's so much to unpack. Oof, um, I thought I was in a good place. I actually did, but I know everyone says this. You can't fit all the players you want in, but I genuinely is just one player away from this. So, yeah, let me know when you're ready. We'll get stuck straight into it, Prez.
Well, I'm ready, and I have got good team value. So whatever you're missing, tell me, and then I'll add him to my team, and then I'll,
You
I'll have
you
the
can
perfect draft.
you know what? I've already had a sneaky look, obviously, at your team, and it's just made me jealous. That's all I'm gonna say to you. So you're
Well,
definitely
which
gonna.
one? So, I mean, for the viewers and listeners, we're going to have, because we're recording on Thursday night and
Yeah,
we are completely in the dark on Raya or no Raya. And we may be completely in the dark even tomorrow because it's not like Arteta is going to tell us anything.
nah,
So, we'll just discuss both versions of our drafts and see where we go.
exactly that. Right. Let's get straight into it. So this is my draft one. With this is basing it that Raya is in the team. He's fit.
Okay, read it
Somehow
out.
we get training pictures or something. So it's got Raya and Fabianski both in goal. Gabriel Dalot, Lewis, Greaves, and Trent. So that's the defense. Midfield is Saka, Smith Rowe, Rogers, Bumo, Diaz. And up front, I've got Wood, Haaland, and Calvert Lewin. In the bank, it leaves me with zero point 0.7 for this team here, Prince.
Hmm.
So, what are your first opinions, or do you want me to tell you what's going through my mind with
No,
this?
no, no. Let's pick out first some bones out of this. So first, Dalo, what the hell is he doing in your team?
Oh, this one I put it in actually for discussion because I had money in the bank. Realistically, that's just Konsa currently in my team. I've not even made that move, and I've got money sitting, and I was thinking that money I couldn't put it to use that I really want to. So let me tell you in this team what's really missing for me.
Okay.
I like the makeup of it. I really like the defense. Okay, Dalot, there's a big question mark there. That's just look at that as almost a placeholder for money. I've got Konsa there currently at the moment, who I'm happy with as well. What I'm really lacking in this team is one more premium, and that's what's bothering me. And what I mean by that is the one actual player was Watkins. I thought I'm going to be able to squeeze him in, and when I tried that price on my team value, it meant going very light in my defense, and that really bothered me because I think my experience from game week 1 to 5, where I needed my bench and they all died one by one, basically meant I've tried to balance the books. You can see here it's a much more balanced squad here. Basically, with this team, in theory, I'd have, say, a Dalot or a Konsa and Smith Rowe on the first two bench. So they can rotate. When Rogers comes out, Smith Rowe can come in and vice versa. And I'm comfortable with that. I even like the Calvert Lewin or Wood. I like both of them as well, but I'm just missing one more. I know other teams would have either a Palmer or a Watkins. And that's what I think this team is lacking. It's very balanced. The
You can get
money's
a
spread.
Solanke. Like
I
the
can
thing
get a
is,
Solanke. Yeah, I can get a Solanke. I've tried that combination. I'm not sure how Solanke almost doesn't tick the box of a Watkins. I don't think he stacks up to Watkins. I think Solanke is closer to
hmm.
Wood. And I'm not going just by
Yeah, but
previous five
don't
weeks,
just look
Prince.
at the next fixture, next two. I think look at Solanke longer term.
Yeah,
I think after game week 8, a lot of people will want Solanke. So you'll see a lot of drafts actually, especially in the analytical space, where people will just start with Solanke.
I've seen. I've already
You had,
seen.
I think you had Fran yesterday who already did.
Yes.
So look, that's an option if you wanted to go there, where you take out 0.7 from Dalo, make him Mikolenko.
Yeah.
That's 1.4 million. Add
Yep.
that to Wood, that becomes 7.5, and that's your Solanke. Now, what I'm trying to do here is basically make you more template because this is going to be very template. The team that you have in front of you, if you, especially if you convert Smith Rowe to Semenyo,
Semenyo, which I can do.
that's template FC then. That's
It is template
basically
FC. Yeah.
the template going around at the moment that I'm seeing for everyone.
I tried that permutation. As I said to you, the Solanke one, for some reason, I don't know.
No,
He
don't do it
didn't.
then. Don't
No,
do it
no,
now.
exactly. That's why I've not done it at the moment. I
Yeah.
could move to it still. There's still time. There'll be more tinkering. We've still got Friday and Saturday morning, Praz. You know how it is. One bit of information can change everything. So,
Absolutely.
but at the moment, I am quite comfortable with this. I like the Arsenal triple up. I like I've kept the Liverpool double up. At one stage, I done a team actually, Praz, where I didn't have no Liverpool, and I could do magic with it, but it didn't sit right with me. So that was I just
I
thought,
mean, let's talk about that. I think there's a little bit of FOMO with Liverpool at the moment, especially on wildcarders,
yeah,
because
yeah,
the wildcarders are feeling like, we've left some points on the table here because they're playing Wolves. A lot of people not on wildcard probably have Salah. They have Trent for sure. So there's a little bit of FOMO here because if you look at it from next week, yeah, I mean, what is it? What's their next week fixture?
we got we got Wolves. Let me go to the fixture ticker right in
Away to
front of us.
Palace, away to
Yeah,
Palace, and then there's a couple of hard games there. So
Chelsea and Arsenal. Yeah,
yeah, so it's not
Arsenal being
like
the real difficult game. Yeah,
correct. So what I mean is, it's not like it is essential. Like if you look at the next two away games, they're fine, but they're away. The home game is Chelsea. Okay, that's also good. But if you look at a Diaz, game week 8 happens just after an international break.
yeah,
So that's a difficult one, like to predict if he starts or not. And then you have Arsenal, which is the away game. So I feel like Trent is fine. Look, Trent is fine, especially because game week 9 is the only one where I'd be worried to play him. Otherwise, I'm
yeah.
happy to play him again. Diaz comes with a little baggage, like a rotation
He
baggage, which
does. He does, Perez. He really does. And you're right. And I actually done the first draft I'd done, and I was happy with it. But then it's almost maybe overthinking. But watching Liverpool are playing really well at the moment.
Hmm,
Yes, we're going to say the opposition might have not been top caliber, but it's, you've got to beat what's in front of you, and they've been doing that and scoring goals. Perez, like the goals, there's goals in that team.
yeah.
And I look at Trent as an attacker and a defender, so he's locked. Forget him. Diaz is the one, but then it's more about then, Perez. If I let me go back to my team, if I did move Diaz to say someone, I think before I had Eza there,
Mhm.
or just say some, how much money would that free up, and can it bring me up to the? It potentially can if I do that, and Dalot gone to Mikalenko, and maybe Wood becomes what's his name, Watkins.
No, that you'd still be short, actually.
Still be short. That's
Yeah,
because my
yeah,
team
yeah.
value is not that great because the
Yeah.
first five
You would
game
have
weeks.
to bring him down to, yeah, maybe Semenyo. So Semenyo is 5.6, right? So that gives you 2.2 million. Yeah, actually, then you can get there.
Yeah.
Then
But
you
then
can
you
get there.
feel like you're losing, like a Diaz to a Semenyo to gain a Watkins. And then that difference between Wood, Diaz versus Watkins and Semenyo. Semenyo, the next two
It's not
games
too
are
bad.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
You
but
reckon?
you're also looking at Diaz for 2 games, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be very worried. Like, if I'm having Diaz and he's in the drafts at the moment, I'm planning a transfer out in 2 weeks. Now, that could be to Brennan Johnson, it could be to Rashford, it could be to Bruno, it could be down to Eze. There are options around that price bracket,
Yeah.
so it's not like you can't go anywhere. But I'm looking at it as a 2 week transfer, like a Luis Diaz thing.
So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too panicking about the international break. Did he play the last international break? I can't
He
remember off
did,
my
but the
mind.
manager said that he was going to play
Play
Gakpo
Gakpo.
instead.
Yeah, yeah, he did say that. So in this instance, that's always a question mark there. But then there'll be a bench player. I could play Smith Rowe.
Well, or the other way to look at it is it's a Sunday game, it's a home game. So, even if he comes back from internationals on Thursday, he'll have plenty of time to play on a Sunday. It's a risk though. Like,
It is a
once you
risk.
join
No,
it,
it is a risk. And the
um
risk is that he might get minutes, which would be more frustrating than not playing at all. So he starts on the
yeah,
bench, exactly that, where you'd rather say 80 minutes of Smith Rowe, where you think,
correct.
okay, I'll take my chances. But Diaz will come on. You'd favor wanting to start him. So that's the first problem you encounter right there.
Exactly. So I get it. Look, I think you're there with some dilemmas, but I think
Yeah.
the defense looks great. And if Raya's fit, we will come to the Raya issue in a second
Yeah.
before we get to your
Yeah.
next draft.
Yeah.
Defense looks good. I think Rico Lewis has been talked to death now. I think people
Yeah.
now have an understanding that he's not nailed, but there is enough there after the Rodri injury and good fixtures that you play him, and you hope for three things. Number one, that he gets more minutes. Number two, if he doesn't start, then he doesn't come on. And number three, there are enough leaks around City, especially on Saturday games, that maybe you get to know. So it's
Yeah.
it's a good proposition to have him as your third defender with two defenders behind him, almost that can play if he's sort of not starting or didn't come on. So I think that's a popular strategy, and I think that works.
So just to round off the defense, you completely dislike Dalot. You think Manchester United defense no chance, even
I
with the
just
upcoming fixtures they've got coming up further down the line.
let's go. Let's look at their fixtures. Let's see
Yeah.
what is the which fixture can you tell me that they will definitely keep a clean sheet?
Well,
Leicester at home in
yeah.
game week 11. No, I'm serious. Spurs at home, we're not keeping a clean sheet.
No,
Villa
you're
away,
not keeping a
definitely
clean
not.
sheet there.
Brentford at home. Brentford have
Brentford,
beaten us at Old Trafford before,
yeah.
but okay,
I
maybe.
think that one. I think I think West Ham as well.
West Ham away,
Chelsea, no. Leicester, yeah. West Ham are struggling at the moment, Prez. I
okay,
think that's a
fine.
possibility. And then
Chelsea at
you've got some attacking potential from the fullback as well. Not much, but you're not seeing it. I did say to you that was more of a placeholder of money because I didn't know. I'll tell you what I originally done, and I'm 0.1 off this press, and this was quite painful. Was that Dalot was I think Konsa, and I could do Smith Rowe to make him Eza. I quite like it was by
Smith Rowe is
0.1.
fine at the moment. I mean, you can get
Yeah,
Eze for Diaz, I think. So keep that.
after yeah, keep that
Yeah.
spot. But yeah, I
The
mean,
only thing I can think of here is Dalot up to Poro.
yeah, the money's there, but even I don't know. Yeah, that's possibly better attacking potential. I mean, they're both as bad. I think Man United will be more solid than Spurs for clean sheets.
Well, Spurs have better fixtures after the next two, and
Yeah,
Poro is more attacking. Like between the two, because you're leaving money behind, money is not an object.
yeah,
Poro is better than Dalot.
yeah. I think. So.
Although I
Yeah,
personally would just leave it at 4.5, and if you have nothing
and
else to do, leave it in the bank.
leave the money in the bank. That was an
Yeah,
option. I think the money was teasing me, so I thought, let me see where I could put it. But there
yeah,
was nothing.
yeah.
If I could get to a double C or something like that, that could have been a temptation.
So last question on this draft: Semenyo instead of Smith Rowe. Is that an option or not?
It is an option. No issues of money. The only thing was I quite like. I actually done a comparison with them with one of my videos. Semenyo's numbers are outrageous. His next two fixtures are gorgeous. After that, it gets difficult for him. I was maybe thinking that with Smith Rowe, he's much more of a longer term, no less transfers with him. I think he's going to improve as the season progresses. He'll score goals. He's got the quality there from how he was obviously being an Arsenal player. He didn't get the chances there, but he's already shown in just the minutes he's got so far, Pras, and he's not even fully match fit yet. I
Yeah.
quite like him as an option. I know he's frowned upon because he's over exceeded his XG and whatnot.
Who, Smith Rowe? I mean,
Yeah,
if you score 2 goals in 5 games, you will over exceed your XG.
I was
So
about to say,
I
yeah,
wouldn't worry about that. I think the good thing about Smith Rowe is every single game his minutes has improved
yeah,
from the previous one. So he's gone from like 61 to 63 to 65 to 70 to 78.
yeah.
So it's only getting better.
He's going to be a 90-minute player inevitably. They're not going to buy. I mean, he's like, you're not going to go from Arsenal to Fulham to be a squad for rotation. That's a definite. More important to add to the minutes as well is his positioning, where he takes the shots. He's a very clever player. When you watch him, he gives himself the best like percentages of getting a good quality shot in the box. I've been looking at his last he tends to get at least 3 to 4 shots a game, Perez, and in good positions in the box, not silly positions. So I do like him as a pick. I do like him. I know Semenyo's stats, far better than him when it comes to the volume of shots, but they've scored the same amount of goals.
I mean, one thing you could do is have Semenyo instead of Rogers, and Semenyo and Smith Rowe actually rotate really nicely. So I'm actually looking at that, and I think I've shared that draft with you, where I've got both of them instead of Rogers, which is also something you could think about if you have money basically just lying there.
Yeah. I mean, but what do you think of the forwards then? Before we look at the
I think forwards are fine. Like
think
these
they're both-
forwards are ones where one of them probably does all right, the other one completely flops. Like don't expect both of them to become flourishing forwards. They play
Nah.
for not great teams.
I was
They
about
have
to say,
decent
yeah.
pictures. There are penalties. So expect a goal every second game, third game. So I think that's okay.
Yeah. Have you, and okay, no, in my team, I could have freed up money. Would you consider I could go Trent or Robertson and then bring that money to do something? Nah.
I mean, if you're going Trent down, then go really down. Like don't go Robertson. I don't think so.
And then use that money to get the Watkins and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing realistically that's missing from me personally from this team. There's slight little differences, but if I could swap Wood for Watkins and bring Dalot down, I'm comfortable with this team in Opres. I'd be
Yeah.
happy. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my personal opinion. It's a shame my team value has left me a little bit struggling, because even if I go, I think I tried another combination as well. You know, having a Diblin in midfield and then or Stewart up front, but I have to play a different formation, and it means my bench all of a sudden's got a non-playing Stewart, a Greaves. I'm nearly back to what happened to me in game week 1, where I really gambled. Yeah, and I'm a little bit. I'm not sure that's the way to go.
Shall we go to my Raya team?
Yeah, let's go.
Because it's what you're talking about basically. So
Yeah.
I've got Raya in goal, and Fabianski like you. So I've got Trent, Gabriel, Lewis like you, and Greaves. So I've just got Mikalenko here instead of your Dallo. So I've saved 0.7 compared to your draft. I've got Bumo, Diaz, Saka like yourself, and I've got Semenyo instead of your Smith Rowe. So it's the same thing. Now what I've done is basically I've taken another 0.5 out of, or 0.6 out of Rogers here, made him into Dibbling. So that's 1.3 million more than you. And then I've basically taken all of that and upgraded Watkins to your Wood to Watkins. That's basically the draft.
And this is the one that's making me a little bit of envious, because I'm thinking I could do with that Watkins. I really like him. I like Watkins, and I think he's improving game by game. But I can't get there. So exactly what you said. This is the team. I think if I had the team value, this is how I'd be going into game week 6 Pras.
No,
I'm
I
happy
like
with
it.
this
I like
team.
it. I mean, the simpler version of this is that I downgrade Watkins to Solanke and I upgrade Dibbling to Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
So basically, that helps me with, that Smith Rowe Semenyo rotation I was
I
talking
was
about.
gonna say, and it gives you a bit more power on the bench, because at the moment you're kind of thin. I mean, it just takes Lewis to, because Diblin. I mean, how long is he going to stay in that Southampton team? And it is a Southampton at the end of the day, more
It
than
is.
likely.
So he would be my second bench pretty much. Like Bikolenko would be first bench. So it's not ideal.
It's not
But
ideal, yeah.
but the idea is that, like I said, Luis Diaz will be sold in 2 weeks, or Watkins will be sold to Solanke in 2 weeks. So money will come around for me to upgrade these guys at a later point.
Yeah.
So that's generally the thought process.
How many transfers have you still got, Prince?
So I'll be rolling one. So
Okay.
next week I'll have 2. By
All right.
game week 8, where I think a lot of people will be making more transfers, I'll have 3.
Yeah.
So unless obviously there's an injury next week. So feels okay. Like to have 3 free transfers, and then if I need to make a move, I make a move.
Yeah, I like the team. We're very similar there. It's just apart from Watkins and the Solanke move. Actually, I might have to go back and look at that, because, like you said, further down the line, it just saves me a hit. Like what I done with Pedro. Do you remember? I went a week early. Similar to that. I might get lucky, get a couple of returns, but then when everyone does jump on, I've already got him.
Exactly. And Solanke will be popular on a lot of wildcard drafts. So, who has scored? Spurs have just scored. Sorry, the Spurs Europa League game is going on.
Yeah.
Solanke got an assist tonight, by the way.
Yeah, he set up Johnson, didn't he?
He did. And who has got the assist for their second goal? Quarbag have missed the penalty as well. Kulusevski's corner and goal by Sar. So irrelevant. Anyway, sorry.
Nothing for us in
Okay,
FPL
so
terms.
that's the draft with Raya. Now, look, I think practically speaking, we may not know anything from Arteta. He may say we'll see, we're assessing him or something, which he always does, or he may just simply say you'll find out tomorrow, which is now his new line. So, A, what are you going to do if he says nothing and we find out nothing? And B, let's have a look at your draft if you decide not to go with Raya.
So let's go. Let's have a look. Here we go. So this one here changes my Arsenal triple up. So Sanchez comes in, Chelsea goalkeeper. I think they're going to improve. I know they started the season hideously defensively. I think they're going to get better. I'm not expecting loads, but maybe he outperforms Henderson. And who's the other alternatives? Sales, maybe. I did have a look at the cheap goalkeepers. I think we're not satisfied with cheap keepers, hence why we're trying to get Raya in our team, of course. The rest of the team, I think, stays similar. I think Mikalenko came in. Who else is? What's the difference? Oh, Havertz, obviously. He makes the Arsenal triple up.
Yeah.
So instead of 2 defenders, obviously, I've gone for 2 attackers, which is just as good for the next 3 fixtures. They're perfect. So I'm comfortable with that, even though I do prefer, if I have obviously, hence why my draft one's got 2 defensive players. Smith Rowe, Rogers, and Bumo, Diaz, everything stays the same apart from that, basically.
Right.
So you can see in this one leaves me with 0.1 in the bank. So it's in between basically. I still not can't get to Havertz, as you can see. Can't get to Havertz, as you can. I'm sorry, Watkins, but it gives
Yeah,
me a
but
bit
Havertz
more
is
here.
fine. I think
Havertz is
Havertz is fine.
perfect. Yeah. Havertz is perfect for the next three fixtures. And then, like you said, I could make a decision then if I want to swap him.
No, I think if so, here's my thoughts on if there's no Raya. I think a lot of people will think about Gabriel Saka, of course, and they might look to add Saliba.
Yeah,
The problem with Saliba is if you have a Trent and Gabriel already, and a Saliba and a Rico Lewis, what happens when you hear there's a leak that Rico Lewis is starting? Are you going to bench one of the Arsenal guys or Trent? You won't. So then basically you're committing to play four at the back
yeah,
in the weeks where Rico Lewis will start. Also, my plan is I'm going to start Rico Lewis even if there's no leak. So because I'm hoping either he starts, then it's good, or he doesn't start and he doesn't come on. What will you do if you have Saliba as well? Will you play four at the back, like as a default every week, and hoping for Lewis to come on? Like having Lewis first bench is useless. Like that's then no gain. That's why I
yeah.
think that if Raya is out, the solution is Gabriel, Saka, and one more could be Havertz. You could take a 2 week punt on Martinelli or Trossard. I think that's the way to go.
That's the reason I've not considered Saliba. Not even because of the benching headache, if I'm honest. I think Raya covers the keeper and the double Arsenal defense. I think if I can't get it that way, I don't want to take up another defensive spot because it forces my hand in playing a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3, which
Hmm.
I don't want that. I don't mind. I'll do it at times, of course, if we got injuries and whatnot, but I don't necessarily want that, Praz. So, like you, I've not even considered. I've not considered the double up unless Raya's fit.
Hmm.
So yeah, Sanchez comes in. What's your opinion on the cheap goalkeepers? If it's not, say, the two premiums or any of the premiums,
I
who
would
would you go
personally go
for?
Flecken. I would
Would
go
you just go
Flecken.
Flick? And just Brentford are so bad. That's
I
the
just think
thing.
it's easy.
It's easy. It's 4.5 million. You can just leave them in there. The fixtures are gorgeous, but you just remember they're Brentford, and they just. I've not been content with them. And Chelsea, yes, isolated them a lot at the start of the season, Praz, but whether we like it or not, they are going to improve. There is still a
Yeah.
decent squad there. They're going to improve. So you hopefully take your chances there and get a couple of cleans.
They will. I mean, you'll see in my draft. Actually, my draft is very similar to your draft, except that I have Edison, right? So
Yeah.
apart from that, it's similar. Like I have Semenyo instead of Smith Rowe, but it's exactly the same. So
So
my
that shows
thinking,
your budget. Wow.
I mean, yeah, it's a little higher budget. And so people will say, why would you pick Edison? He's not worth the value. Well, I have more value. So think of him as a 4.8 goalkeeper.
Exactly.
So then, okay, maybe people can understand why I'm picking Edison. Look, I think this is why I'm worried that if Raya is out, teams will look a lot similar because the
Yeah,
Arsenal triple up will become Gabriel Saka Havertz. Already people have Trent. Diaz is becoming popular. They have Haaland, they have Bumo, they have Rogers. It's going to be the team
it
most
is.
people will have.
It is. So you think there's more flexibility if Raya is actually fit? There's more
If Raya's
decisions to
fit,
make.
he
Yeah.
takes some budget up top. So you need to make decisions in your team.
Yeah.
And also you can be little creative and not go Raya in your team and use that money. Like you could play this even if Raya is fit, right? But
Yeah.
you won't
Yeah. Yeah.
because sort of the general direction is to play Raya, and then that makes the teams a little bit different because some people are going Diaz, some are not.
Yeah.
But in this case, because Raya's out and you have to use all of that money to upgrade your striker to Havertz, he sucks all the funds. So then you can't go Watkins. Like I can't
Nah.
go Watkins if Havertz is there. And so this is going to be the main issue if Raya goes. But look, what will you do if Arteta says that we don't know, we'll see, and you don't see him in the training?
I'm not quite sure. I don't think I'm going to gamble it. I think basically to answer your question, Prince, I'm going to start with a team similar to this. I don't think I can't after a wild card press start with 10 players. And that would just I don't think I can. It would be too much for me. I know you're meant to think long term, and in theory, Raya would be in goal until when do we get our second wild card at minimum, so, game week 18. I can't bring myself to do that. Surely not. Would you? Would you? Even if you're, say, 85% certain the word online or in the nose is that he's fine.
So go to my draft, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you, I actually like it so much that I think I might just do this. Like if you look at my draft,
Yeah.
I have got Edison in goal instead of your Sanchez. I've got
Yeah.
Collins or Pinnock in defense
Instead of
instead of
Mikalenko.
Mikalenko. And you know
Yeah.
why I've done that? Because if Raya is out, a lot of people will get Flecken. So I want to have some Brentford cover in that case. Like, if Lewis isn't starting, other people will have Flecken and, let's say a Mikolenko. I'd rather have Edison and, so basically my Edison is competing against an Everton defender and my
Yeah.
Collins takes care of the Flecken.
I could only
So,
do that, Pras, if I bought down Sanchez because he's 4.7 to 4.5, gives me the 0.2, which is I've got 0.1. Then I could do that. I could
right,
make that. Otherwise, yeah, I can't.
right. So then my midfield is similar to you. I mean, again, I've got Semenyo instead of ESR. I'm not decided yet. I'm not going to put Semenyo in my team tonight. If he rises, he rises, because I don't want to lose value on Smith Rowe either. Because
Same.
you're right. That's, in this setup, let's say this front eight which is going to be fairly popular. Let's say Havertz is Solanke, or let's say Havertz is even a Chris Wood. Who are you benching this week? Most people are going to be benching Rodgers
Against Ipswich.
against Ipswich.
I
It's not great.
know. That's not good at all.
Whereas if you have Smith Rowe, you can bench him easier this week.
Agree.
So
It's like it removes a decision.
It removes a decision, and you're picking Smith Rowe for this. Sorry, you're picking Semenyo for this huge upside first two games.
Yeah.
But then you're benching Rodgers to get him.
Yeah.
And you're missing Rodgers' huge upside Ipswich game. So that's where I'm still stuck. So I'm actually, you're probably right that maybe Smith Rowe is the way to go. The problem with Smith Rowe and Chris Wood, which you have,
Yeah.
is next week. Next week, Smith Rowe plays Man City, and Chris Wood plays Liverpool.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Chris Wood plays
Chris, where
not
is he? No, he's got Chelsea. Is it? Yeah,
Chelsea away.
Yeah.
So one is Chelsea away, and one is Man City away. Who, like, both are not great. Like, when you look at your bus team, you'll be like, shit, I don't like this. Like, this is why I've gone for DCL. Like, I want a nice bus team player. So have a think.
So is that the only thing making? Because that was actually one of the questions. If that fixture wasn't in place, who would you prefer? Just as a straight shoot off between Calvert-Lewin and Wood?
There's nothing in it. Nothing in it. Like, the only thing is Calvert-Lewin has better short-term fixtures because Wood has this away fixture.
Yeah.
Awini is coming back to fitness. So, like, look, I think Wood is first choice.
Yeah.
But he will keep getting subbed off. Whereas with Calvert-Lewin, his minutes will only increase because he's the talisman.
If he can stay fit.
Yeah, if he can. So now that's countered by he could get injured. But then I'm not worried. I'm looking at Calvert-Lewin. At least if he can bridge me until João Pedro is fit, I can use a transfer because I know long term I want João Pedro anyway. So if he can get me 3 games, if he can take me through till international break, game week 9, João Pedro is home to what is this fixture? There's a money fixture, home to Wolves. I can make the move then if DCL gets injured. Of course, if he doesn't, I'll keep playing him. But what I mean is I'm not too worried about injury as such. He's my 8th attacker, or 7th, 8th attacker.
Yeah.
So
I like this. I think I prefer this team more than Team 1.
Yeah, I know.
You know that. I think I prefer this team more.
Secretly, I'm hoping that either Raya's out or we don't find anything, and I'm forced to play this because look at my defense. I'm playing double City defense, who are the highest clean sheet odds over the next 6 weeks. I'm playing Trent and Gabriel. So I'm not giving up too much by losing Raya. Okay, Raya is better than Edison. I take it.
Yeah.
But Raya to Edison is not that much of a downgrade because there's good clean sheet odds for City as well.
Agree.
But I'm getting Havertz instead of Solanke. Or maybe Watkins to Havertz maybe is a slight downgrade. But then instead of Dibbling, I'm getting Semenyo. So, like, there are benefits to this team, which I think I don't mind it. And you know what the path would be? I would, in this game, in this version, do Havertz to Solanke in 2 weeks. So Havertz would become Solanke. That would release my Arsenal slot for the 3 fixtures that are reasonably difficult for them, or 4 fixtures. Away to Bournemouth, then they play Chelsea, they play Liverpool, and they play... Who else?
Let me bring that up there.
There's like 4 fixtures that are not ideal for Liverpool. I'll tell you.
So there it is.
Yeah. So away to Bournemouth, home to Liverpool, away to Newcastle, away to Chelsea. They're fine. I'm not saying like they're bad fixtures, but at that point, I don't mind if I just have Gabriel and Saka. And then the idea would be Edison would become back to Raya once those 4 fixtures are finished. That would be basically the path.
Yeah, I like it. Edison one makes sense. If I had the budget, I could possibly consider it because I think Raya, he's Arsenal better defensively, but he's also maybe overperformed those bonuses and stuff. Is he going to keep continuing doing that? Arsenal most probably will stop those shots. The volume of shots Arsenal's been conceding has been higher than Arteta would like, considering we know Arsenal are incredibly good defense. So I reckon that will cut down and those two will even up points
Yeah.
wise. So for you could actually not worry too much about Raya. For me, there's a big difference between Raya and Sanchez, where Ederson, no, I think actually your emotionally will gain more edge because a lot of people won't go double City defense, they'll go double Arsenal defense, which whether it's via Raya or Saliba. This one here, possibly you lose. Obviously, every time they keep Arsenal keep it clean, but then you gain with
Yeah,
City
but
and
if
City's
Raya is out,
fixtures.
I don't think a lot of people will go Arsenal double defense.
I think some will still do it because I don't think he's going to be long term. Like
So
whatever
they'll
it,
just pick Raya anyway.
I think people will. I've got this feeling they'll just the headache of not doing him and booking yourself in a transfer for a keeper, which we all hate. If they think it's just 1 week, they might just, I don't know. Or people might go for two, a cheap 4.5 second playing goalkeeper and still have Raya. You don't think no one will do that, Pras?
Solanke scored again.
This could sway it for me now. You see,
Goal and assist in Europe. There you go. Everyone's picking Solanke.
There you go. Now I'm one of them. Don't worry about that. I'm going to fit him in. That's my Watkins. That will quench my first straight away.
Yeah,
I'll count him as my premium. You've
Yeah,
not
Solanke is a
considered
good player.
Praz. You've not considered Eza and Bruno because you can as well if you wanted to. You could drop Havertz to say a cheaper. I know obviously we're targeting triple Arsenal, but just say free up money there and bring in one of those two. I know they've had
But for
hideous
who?
starts of the season, but they've been
But
unlucky.
but for who? Like who should I drop? Like
Say
Semenyo has got good
what?
fixtures. Rogers is an enabler. It would be Luis Diaz.
Can't what you think you're rating Semenyo that highly? If you drop
No,
say Havertz to Wood, and then you brought up Semenyo to no,
I
the
mean,
maths.
no, I'm not dropping Havertz for Wood to get an Arsenal double up instead of a triple up just for Eze. Like, look, he's fine. I like Eze. I like Bruno. But I think it's because I have to go. Like, I feel that there is this momentum to get Luis Diaz. And I think he's a good pick for 2 weeks. I'll then take it from there. Like, I don't think Eze is bad, but let him play Liverpool next game week
Yeah,
7. Then I'll consider Eze again.
fair. I'm just trying to look if there's anyone else. Who else? So from these teams, is there anyone else that you consider the price that you can't fit in? So for me, I've already told you my
I
one was
mean,
the
it's
obvious one was
Palmer.
Watkins, Palmer.
So I would have liked Palmer. I could have done, Luis Diaz up to Palmer. But then I'm thinking Palmer also has 2 good games. And then after that, it's not such a nice run for Chelsea either. So that's the other one. Like, apart from that, between 5.6 million mids to, I would say even 9 million, apart
Yeah.
from Luis Diaz, like there's nobody who's really saying, I need to be in your team.
On form Foden would have made it juicy. That
Yeah,
would have I
definitely.
know that would have
I
made
would have
it.
looked at Foden for sure.
Yeah, with these fixtures, and he might come into it, but it's gonna have to be a post wildcard decision because he most probably will now with the injuries and what's going on there. He most probably will come into to play, and those fixtures are good. Just how we're gonna get there with 9 million.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, I mean, let's keep it a short one this week because it's wildcard. Not a lot of people have time for too much content. So, anything else, Mo? Like captain, who are you captaining this week?
I'm gonna stay with Haaland. I'm not gonna entertain. I know Saka's second best, but for me, I'm not gonna. If we ever look at this, just to help us with captains, actually. So I like
And there's a
watching
big gap
Newcastle play. It's a big
between.
gap, but it's look. We saw last week he scored against Arsenal, the best defense. He just ran through them like they didn't exist. He's gonna do. It's playing against Burnn. I mean, it's a mismatch. And Newcastle, yes, they might pull it out the bag because they've been dodging their way. But you've been saying it a lot, Praz. They've been winning when they've been playing poor, but it finally caught up with them. Now they're playing the worst team possible. They're playing. It's the worst. So for me, I'm not because if I had Saka is a decent. Why are you considering? Let me put the question to you. Are you
No.
considering?
Look, I'm also on Holland, but I think Saka is very tempting. Like this week, I had always planned this week was the Saka week, and
So
the whole
why are you not
reason
doing it then?
The same reasons as you said. I expected at this point for Newcastle to be better, especially at home, but their defense isn't looking that great. I expected Man City to start rotating a little and stuff, and Haaland's minutes to start reducing. That's not happening a lot. So I just think it's fine. Like Haaland's going to score one goal, right?
Yeah,
So like at the moment, the form he's in, you can expect a goal. Like if Man City are scoring 2.15 expected goals in this chart, Haaland should get 50% of that, which is a
yeah,
goal.
yeah,
So then you're already talking like 8 points because strikers get bonus this year. So for Saka to score that, like they probably keep a clean sheet. They get bonus through defenders. If one of Havertz scores, he gets bonus. I'm just maybe making a narrative that look, it's not that easy to beat Haaland. Like even if you have a better fixture, and if Haaland's fixture was like away Liverpool or something tougher, then I would consider it more. But at the moment, you just have to go with the form guy.
yeah. That's my take on it as well. And I've never really capped Saka that much. I don't know. I don't ever look at him as explosive. I just see him as he might get one return that game. But yeah, no, I'm comfortable with Haaland. Yeah, nothing else for me, Praz, with regard to captaincy this week. Normally, I always have a look. Thankfully, this season, I'm not gone against him that much. Otherwise, I'd have been in real trouble. But yeah, Liverpool's figures look pretty good, Praz.
They do as well.
There
This
is
is
a,
the
if
this
you
is the
have
temptation.
Salah, if you have a Salah there, not a Diaz, I don't think a Salah would be worthy.
Salah instead of Haaland, I can see it, but I would still maybe if I had both, to be honest, I would still be tempted by Haaland at the moment. It's just not right to back against Haaland at the moment. Like Haaland will be like 160, 70% again. I
Yeah,
just don't feel right. Like I don't
but
know.
it's going to come to a stage we're going to have to do that, though, Prez.
Well, let the fixtures get tougher. Like for the next 6-7 game weeks, it's not the case. But so I'm a little bit on auto mode.
Yeah, yeah,
Let the
fair.
others chase. Basically, I've had a decent start. Let the others people chase with other captaincies. And if Saka ends up scoring well, so be it. We have Saka.
Fair. Yeah, captaincy. I think we're good there. It's just going to be. I've got a couple of things to do. I think them Solanke, the recency bias might kick in, Prez. He might come into my team.
That's how we are. Like I talked about this other draft that I have with Solanke and Smith Rowe and Semenyo. I think that could be something that I need to look at a little bit more.
Then you've got a gorgeous bench as well. Rotate
Yeah.
and pick the best fixtures. Cool. No worry, Prez.
All right, mate. Lovely talking to you. Good luck to you all on your final tinkering. I think by the time you listen to this, it'll be less than 24 hours. So
Yes.
all the best.
So I wish you good luck, Prez. Thank you very much. You've given me more question marks than answers, actually. But like you said, that's the whole point. Exactly. Job done. So I'll see you next week and good luck, Prez. See you, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.